Few names echo as powerfully through the histories of Middle-earth as that of Húrin Thalion, known as the Steadfast. But why is he remembered so vividly? And what hidden truths lie beneath the legends of this tragic hero? Born in the First Age, in Dor-Lomin, Húrin was the eldest son of Galdor the Tall, the chieftain of the House of Hador, one of the three noble houses of the Edain. His youth, while brief, was steeped in the rugged strength of his people, shaping a man destined to stand unyielding against forces far greater than himself. Húrin's name, Thalion, signifies his unbreakable will, yet this title is more than a mere honorific. It was earned in the crucible of war and suffering, a testament to the indomitable spirit he displayed, even when hope was extinguished. When Morgoth unleashed his legions during the Dagor Bragolach, or Battle of Sudden Flame, Húrin proved his mettle, aiding the High Elves of Fingolfin. This alliance underscored a critical truth about Húrin. He was not merely a warrior, but a bridge between the dwindling elves and the rising race of men. A turning point in Húrin's tale came at the Nir Nayeth Arnoediad, the Battle of Unnumbered Tears. This devastating event occurred in the year 472 of the First Age. As one of the most harrowing defeats in Middle-earth's history, it was here that Húrin's legend was cemented. He and his brother Huor fought valiantly under the banner of Turgon of Gondolin. Though vastly outnumbered, their valor ensured that Turgon could retreat, preserving the hidden city of Gondolin for a time. Yet the true test of Húrin's steadfastness came not on the battlefield but in the shadowy depths of Angband, Morgoth's fortress. Captured and brought before the Dark Lord, Húrin's defiance was unmatched. When offered his freedom in exchange for revealing Gondolin's location, he mocked Morgoth, declaring, "You are not the Lord of Men." Bound to a stone seat atop Thangorodrim, he was forced to witness, through dark sorcery, the cascading tragedies wrought upon his family. A fatal death, leaving his son, Iunus, dead. Herein lies a hidden layer of his legacy. Morgoth's torment revealed the power and cruelty of malice untempered by compassion, contrasting sharply with Húrin's humanity. In a bitter twist, Morgoth's curse extended far beyond Húrin himself, a theme often overlooked in discussions of his character. His unwavering defiance inadvertently marked his family for suffering. The ruin of his children, Turin Turambar and Ninor, and their fates entangled in Morgoth's curse, highlight a chilling truth. Even the strongest walls of willpower can't always protect what lies behind them. This dark juxtaposition between courage and vulnerability makes Húrin a deeply tragic figure in the annals of Middle-earth. But what of the implications of Morgoth's curse? Does it imply that defiance against evil can, in some cases, exacerbate the very ruin one seeks to prevent? These questions give Húrin's story a complexity that extends beyond mere heroics. His tale isn't just about valor. It's about the cost of standing against insurmountable odds, and the price of moral integrity when the world itself is collapsing, the extent of which is a totality. To understand Húrin fully, we must explore the curse of Morgoth, a punishment unique in its malicious intricacy. Morgoth, the first Dark Lord, sought to break Húrin not with death, but through despair. The sorcerous power of Morgoth ensured that Húrin would watch, unable to intervene, as his family unraveled under the weight of the curse. For many readers, this is where Húrin's tale transforms from a story of defiance to one of profound tragedy. This curse had far-reaching implications. Turin Turambar, Húrin's son, would grow into one of the most complex characters in Tolkien's legendarium, a heroic yet deeply flawed figure, whose choices repeatedly brought destruction. The fall of Nargothrond, the slaying of Glaurung, and Turin's final confrontation with his own doom were all shadowed by Morgoth's machinations. Húrin, forced to witness these events, was burdened not only with grief, but with the crushing awareness that his family's suffering stemmed from his refusal to yield. However, the curse was not simply an act of cruelty. it was also a demonstration of Morgoth's overarching desire to dominate the free will of men. Morgoth's powers of foresight allowed him to exploit the faults in human nature: pride, vengeance, and fear, turning the strength of Húrin's lineage into their downfall. Yet Húrin's defiance reveals a critical truth about free will in Tolkien's world. Though Morgoth could manipulate and deceive, he could not wholly destroy the capacity for good. Even in his torment, Húrin maintained a core of humanity. When Morgoth finally released him after 28 years, it was not an act of mercy, but a calculated move to spread further discord. Húrin's return to the lands of Middle-earth was marked by bitterness. He sought out Morwen, his wife, but found only the ruins of their lives. The heart-wrenching scene at the grave of Túrin and Nienor in Brethil is one of Tolkien's most poignant moments. There, Húrin found Morwen, who died in his arms, a final blow to his unrelenting spirit. Yet even in the face of such despair, Húrin continued to act. He journeyed to Nargothrond, reclaiming the treasure of the dragon Glaurung, and offered it to Thingol, king of Doriath. His motivations in this act are layered with ambiguity. Was it an attempt to honor Túrin's deeds, or a bitter challenge to those who had failed his family? Was it finally understood that Thingol had not only remade part of him? Some argue that Húrin, in his despair, became an unwitting instrument of Morgoth's designs, sowing discord among the elves and hastening the eventual ruin of Doriath. And here lies one of the central questions of Húrin's story. Was he, in the end, a victim of Morgoth, or did his resistance to the Dark Lord leave behind a legacy of hope? While his actions after his release may appear destructive, they also remind us of the limitations of even the greatest of men. Húrin was not an unerring hero. He was a man burdened by grief and fury, who nevertheless stood against the most formidable evil of his time. Morgoth is a man burdened by grief and fury, who nevertheless stood against the most formidable evil of his time. But his story does not exist in isolation. Húrin's tale intersects with larger themes in Middle-earth, such as the diminishing of the Edain, the unrelenting advance of Morgoth's shadow, and the fragile alliances between elves and men. His life serves as a microcosm of the First Age, noble intentions intertwined with inevitable tragedy. To grasp the full weight of Húrin's story, we must delve into the symbolic underpinnings and thematic resonance that Tolkien wove into his narrative. Húrin is not just a warrior. He is a representation of unyielding resistance to tyranny and despair. His defiance before Morgoth mirrors the broader conflict of the First Age, where light and hope struggle against overwhelming darkness. One of the more compelling aspects of Húrin's character is how his story embodies the fragility of hope. Morgoth sought to extinguish that hope through the curse, but his very effort highlights its enduring power. Húrin's refusal to betray Gondolin, even under unimaginable torment, underscores the resilience of free will, a cornerstone of Tolkien's mythology. Note: Essays on Free Will. In the face of Morgoth's domination, Húrin's resistance reminds us that evil cannot claim total victory so long as there are those willing to stand against it, regardless of the cost. The tragedy of Húrin's life also serves as a commentary on the limitations of heroism. While Húrin's actions were undeniably noble, they also carried unintended consequences. His valor at the Nirnaeth Arneodiad allowed Turgon to escape, preserving Gondolin as a bastion of hope for a time. Yet his steadfastness also placed his family in Morgoth's sights, unleashing a series of events that would culminate in ruin. Turning around, his eye over this duality, heroic intention versus catastrophic outcome, echoes throughout the histories of Middle-earth, from Feanor's oath to Boromir's fall. And then there is the question of Húrin's role in the unfolding of destiny. Tolkien's world is deeply intertwined with the concept of fate, often described as the music of the Ainur, which unfolds according to the design of Ilúvatar. Morgoth's curse may have been a perversion of this greater plan, but it did not nullify the capacity for redemption. Consider Turin, Húrin's son, whose life, though tragic, ended with the slaying of Glaurung, a blow against Morgoth's dominion. Even under the shadow of despair, sparks of resistance and victory remain. Húrin's story also reflects the shifting dynamics between elves and men during the First Age. His alliance with Turgon and his lineage's connection to Thingol of Doriath illustrate a complex web of relationships that would ultimately unravel. By the time of Húrin's death, the unity between elves and men was fraying, paving the way for Morgoth's eventual domination. This theme resonates with the broader decline of Middle-earth's peoples, a recurring motif in Tolkien's legendarium. Yet, amidst the tragedy, Húrin leaves behind an enduring legacy. His defiance inspired tales of heroism that would echo through the ages. In The Lord of the Rings, Aragorn speaks of Turin and Húrin as paragons of the Edain, figures whose deeds became the stuff of legend. Their stories were a reminder to the later generations of men that even in the darkest times, courage and resistance were possible. Finally, Húrin's story invites us to reflect on the cost of resistance. His suffering and loss were immense, but they were not meaningless. Húrin's life, like the tales of Middle-earth itself, teaches us that heroism is not about triumph without sacrifice. It is about standing firm in the face of overwhelming odds, even when the outcome is uncertain. And so, Húrin Thalion stands not only as a hero of the First Age, but as a symbol of resilience and the enduring fight against despair. In his defiance, we see the strength of humanity's spirit, and in his tragedy, we glimpse the price that must often be paid to preserve hope. As with much of Tolkien's work, the story of Húrin is steeped in layers of meaning that reveal themselves through cross-references and thematic parallels across the legendarium. One of the most striking aspects of Húrin's tale is how it bridges the cosmic struggle of the Valar and Morgoth with the deeply personal trials of mortal life. In the grand sweep of the First Age, Húrin's life is but a fleeting moment, yet his choices and their consequences ripple through history, echoing the music of the Ainor's grand design, while illustrating the unpredictable ways free will interacts with fate. And his wisdom doubles the eyes of all passing onward, clarifying the nature of fate. The theme of resistance, so central to Húrin's story, connects his plight to the broader struggle against Morgoth. Unlike the immortal elves, whose resistance to evil often manifests as timeless endurance, Húrin's defiance carries a uniquely mortal urgency. His life and his suffering emphasize the fleeting yet potent strength of men, a race that Ilúvatar himself imbued with the gift of free will and the capacity to shape their own destinies. Húrin's refusal to yield to Morgoth's will exemplifies this gift, even as it highlights its cost. The way in which Fergus creates forgiveness for all humanity is such a reliance on his own strength, how he believes that he is stronger than the future that houses him. Another hidden layer in Húrin's tale lies in its reflection of Tolkien's own wartime experiences. The unrelenting tragedy and destruction that Húrin witnesses bear echoes of the despair Tolkien saw during World War I. Húrin's endurance, even in the face of such devastation, serves as a reflection of Tolkien's belief in the resilience of the human spirit, even when surrounded by overwhelming darkness. Cross-references to Húrin's story can also be found in later ages of Middle-earth, particularly in the ways his legacy is remembered and retold. In The Lord of the Rings, Húrin and his family are spoken of as heroic figures, their deeds surviving as inspiration for the free peoples in their own struggle against Sauron. Aragorn's invocation of Turin and Húrin at Rivendell serves as a reminder that the sacrifices of the First Age were not in vain. The idea that history, though often tragic, is a wellspring of strength and guidance for the present is a recurring motif in Tolkien's work. Moreover, the relationships between Húrin, his family, and the elves reveal much about the tensions between these two races. While the alliances forged during the First Age were born of necessity, they were fraught with misunderstandings and mistrust. Húrin's interactions with Turgon of Gondolin and Thingol of Doriath reflect both the potential and the fragility of these alliances. Later, when the Gospels get longer, they will reveal much and may serve as a recommendation of the nature of these alliances. In Húrin's bitterness after his release from Angband, we see the seeds of the estrangement that would grow between elves and men in later ages. Finally, Húrin's life serves as a testament to the pervasive influence of Morgoth's malice. The curse of Morgoth, while a direct punishment for Húrin's defiance, symbolizes a broader truth about evil in Tolkien's world. Morgoth's power lies not only in his physical might, but in his ability to corrupt and sow despair. Yet Húrin's resistance, even when seemingly futile, demonstrates that evil cannot achieve total domination. He said, "His story reminds us that even when hope seems lost, acts of defiance carry profound meaning and can inspire future generations." In the end, Húrin Thalion is a figure of both inspiration and caution. His strength and courage are undeniable, but his story also serves as a reminder of the immense weight carried by those who choose to stand against darkness. Húrin's legacy is a testament to the enduring power of hope, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Húrin Thalion's story resonates deeply with the grand themes that underpin Tolkien's mythology. As much as Húrin is an individual, stubborn, valiant, and tragic, he also functions as a microcosm of the larger struggles within Middle-earth. His defiance of Morgoth mirrors the eternal battle between free will and domination, a conflict that stretches from the music of the Ainur to the downfall of Sauron in the Third Age. One of the most significant underlying themes in Húrin's tale is the interplay between despair and hope. Despair is Morgoth's greatest weapon. It is through despair that he seeks to break the wills of Húrin and those he loves. Húrin's steadfastness challenges this despair, but not without cost. The tragedy of his children's fates and the devastation wrought by the curse of Morgoth reflect Tolkien's belief in the insidious nature of unchecked evil. Yet even in the darkest moments of Húrin's story, glimmers of hope persist. The destruction of Glaurung, for example, stands as a moment of triumph amidst overwhelming sorrow, a testament to the enduring struggle against darkness. Húrin's narrative also offers a meditation on the nature of heroism. In Tolkien's legendarium, true heroism is rarely accompanied by unblemished victory. Like Fëanor or Frodo, Húrin's choices are marked by both valor and unintended consequences. His decision to fight in the Nirne Arnoediad and his refusal to yield to Morgoth's will are acts of great courage, yet they set in motion a chain of suffering that reverberates across his family and beyond. This complexity underscores Tolkien's nuanced understanding of heroism. It is not about infallibility, but about perseverance and the willingness to sacrifice in the face of insurmountable odds. Furthermore, Húrin's relationship with the concept of fate highlights the tension between free will and destiny in Middle-earth. Though Morgoth cursed Húrin, it was the choices of Húrin, Turin, and Nainor that shaped the ultimate outcomes of their lives. Tolkien's exploration of this tension reveals his deep engagement with questions of morality, agency, and consequence. Húrin's tragedy lies not only in what was done to him, but also in how he chose to respond to it, embodying the paradox of human freedom in a world governed by divine will. The echoes of Húrin's legacy can be seen in the later ages of Middle-earth, reminding us of the interconnectedness of Tolkien's narratives. His defiance and suffering become part of the mythic history that inspires figures like Aragorn, Frodo, and Sam. The memory of Húrin and his family serves as both a cautionary tale and a beacon of resilience. Through his story, Tolkien invites us to grapple with fundamental questions. What does it mean to resist evil? What is the cost of standing firm in the face of despair? And how do the choices of individuals ripple through the currents of history? And yet, with many worldviews. In the end, Húrin Thalion is more than a hero of the First Age. He is a reflection of Tolkien's most profound themes. His story is a testament to the power of courage and the enduring struggle between light and darkness. Though his life was marked by tragedy, it also shines with the unyielding spirit of resistance, a legacy that, like the stars of Vada, endures even when the night is at its darkest. Húrin's tale, in all its sorrow and grandeur, continues to resonate with readers because it captures the essence of what it means to be human, to hope, to resist, and to persevere, even in the shadow of despair. And in this, Húrin becomes not only a character of Middle-earth, but a timeless figure, embodying the struggles and triumphs that define us all.